Hello, my dear viewers. Today I have a surprising and touching story to share with you. After being injured, Hung returned in a weak condition. But what surprised everyone wasn't his wounds. It's the story of the kindness of his colleague and his father. They saved him with precious traditional medicine during his recovery. Hung's words will make you doubt the sacrifice and unconditional kindness of people. Are these benefactors really saviors, or just people who appeared for a brief moment? This story will make you think about the power of kindness and unexpected rescue in times of danger. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and donate to continue joining me in more emotional and surprising stories like this one. After several days of recovery at Min's house, Hung felt much better. The pain had subsided, leaving only a bit of fatigue, and his health was slowly returning. He was grateful to Min's family, especially Min's father, who had taken such good care of him, preparing traditional medicine every day. It was thanks to them that he was able to get through this serious illness. Though he felt stronger, Hung couldn't stop worrying about Hoai Ca and Tony. He thought about his own family the days away from home and felt the need to return to continue his work. However, he knew he had to face danger when he went back. The plots and enemies were still lurking, and he couldn't keep hiding the truth from his loved ones. Min's father entered the room, holding a bowl of medicine that he had prepared. Hung watched him, a slight smile appearing on his face. He could feel the genuine affection from this man, from the little actions full of care. "Take your medicine," Min's father said, his voice warm and full of kindness. Hung could only thank him and drink the medicine, but his heart was restless. He clearly remembered the worried look on Hoai Ca's face, and Tony, the boy he saw as his son. Would Hoai Ca have the patience to wait for his return? Could the dangers he hadn't yet faced affect his family? When he asked Min, he was told that Min had gone out to handle some business, helping a young couple facing problems. Hung was worried, not knowing how long Min would be gone, but he understood that he had to move forward. He couldn't keep avoiding his responsibilities. Hung packed his things and decided to ask Min's family for permission to leave. He thanked them for all their help during his time there. Even though he was deeply grateful to Min's family, Hung felt he couldn't stay any longer. He needed to go back, face everything. His work was waiting, and the dangers outside were still looming. He couldn't let Hoai Ca and Tony worry any longer. At this point, Hung was ready to leave. He told himself that no matter how difficult life got, he had to keep moving forward. He wouldn't let the challenges stop him. With deep gratitude to Min's family, Hung understood that his journey was still long and full of obstacles. He had to keep fighting, no matter how tough it got. A little while later, Min returned home looking slightly tired after a day of handling work. As soon as Min walked in, his father greeted him happily. When Min entered the room, Hung stood up and greeted him politely. "You're back, comrade. Please sit down. I have something to discuss with you." Min sat down and looked at Hung with a caring gaze. He knew that Hung had been through tough days, and now his health was slowly improving. Hung didn't want to trouble Min's family any further, though they had been incredibly kind and helpful to him during his recovery. Hung thanked Min's family for taking care of him. He realized that during these difficult days, their help had been indispensable. Min and his father had not only helped him physically, but also emotionally, especially when he felt lonely and far from home. Hung still remembered those days, lying in bed with each bowl of porridge and each cup of medicine being a sincere act of care from Min's family. Min, though deeply concerned about Hung's condition, agreed to let him go downstairs to rest for a few days. He knew that Hung needed time to regain his confidence and full health, and even though he wanted to keep him there, Min understood that Hung's life couldn't be put on hold forever. Min's father had already prepared some medicine for Hung to take with him. Hung thanked him and gratefully accepted the package. "Take this medicine for about 3 days. Make sure you take it regularly," Min's father instructed. Hung held the medicine feeling warm inside as he thought about the care and attention from Min's family. Standing by the door, Hung looked back at Min's family, silently thanking them for their kindness. He couldn't stay any longer, but he would always remember his time there. He believed that no matter how tough things got, Min's family was one of those he would forever be grateful for. Even though his work and life ahead would be full of challenges, Hung felt much stronger because of the warmth he had received. Before leaving, Hung promised that he would come back to see Min's family again once he was completely healthy. He walked out the door feeling lighter, but also anxious about the challenges ahead. His journey had never been easy, but with benefactors like Min, he now had the strength to face anything. At that moment in Hoai Ca's house, the atmosphere was warm and peaceful. Ba Bei and Hoai Ca were talking to each other. Hoai Ca asked her mother about her work that day, and Ba Bei shared a story about helping a poor family with medical care. Even though she didn't charge them, she still helped them and gave the medicine without expecting anything in return. As Hoai Ca listened, she silently thanked her mother for always doing good deeds for those in need. The conversation between mother and daughter seemed to be going normally, but Hoai Ca couldn't stop worrying about Hung. She had just heard that he had been injured, but she didn't know how serious it was. While they were talking, Hoai Ca suddenly looked up and saw Hung standing at the door. Although his face showed signs of fatigue, he gave a gentle smile. Hung had returned after many days away from home, and he felt so happy to see Hoai Ca and Ba Bei. However, the wound on his forehead couldn't be hidden, which made both Hoai Ca and Ba Bei worried. Hung stepped inside and felt the warmth of the home. He truly felt lucky to be surrounded by such kind-hearted people. While Ba Bei took care of Hung, Hoai Ca asked him about the wound on his forehead. Hung tried to reassure her, saying it was a minor injury and nothing serious. But even though he tried to act strong, Hoai Ca's worried look couldn't be hidden. Hung, understanding her concern, began telling them what had happened. He explained that he had been in an accident and couldn't contact anyone because he had lost his phone and there was no signal. Moreover, a recent storm had flooded the roads, interrupting all communication. Ba Bei felt a bit relieved upon hearing that Hung had been treated and cared for. Hung continued to share his recovery process, explaining how his colleague and his father had helped him a lot. His colleague, not only skilled in his profession, but also with a kind heart, had helped him heal using traditional medicine. It was thanks to their help that Hung was recovering like this. He added that the man had even sent medicine with him so that he could continue taking it when he returned to work. Looking at Hung with understanding, Ba Bei smiled and said that if he ran out of medicine, she would get more for him. Hung thanked her, feeling truly warmed by the love and support from Hoai Ca's family. He felt so fortunate to be cared for by such good people. However, Hung knew he couldn't stay much longer. He felt much better now, able to move around and start thinking about his work. Ba Bei understood Hung's feelings, as his job always demanded urgency and couldn't be postponed forever. She advised him to continue with his work once he was fully recovered, but to not forget to rest and recover completely. Before leaving, Hung made sure to thank Hoai Ca's family for taking care of him all this time. He understood that even small things like a bowl of porridge or a dose of medicine had brought him peace and strength during his difficult days. He truly felt lucky to have such a family, always with open hearts to help others. But before leaving, Ba Bei asked if Hung could take a look at her grapefruit garden and maybe help her sell some fruit. Hung agreed, promising to check the garden and help her when he could. After saying his goodbyes, Hung prepared to return to work, but in his heart, he carried a deep gratitude towards Hoai Ca's family. With the support of Ba Bei and Hoai Ca, Hung felt much stronger despite the challenges still ahead. He promised himself that no matter how difficult things got, he would always strive to protect his family and those he loved. Although he was feeling better, he knew that the challenges and dangers still awaited him. His work wasn't finished, and his enemies were still out there lurking in the shadows. He had to continue this tough journey, but with the support of Hoai Ca's family and Ba Bei, he didn't feel alone. Despite all the hardships he would face, Hung wouldn't give up. His fight had only just begun, and what he did next would be the answer to all the unanswered questions.